Here we are. It's the final three of CutThroat Island, and we're doing a Zoom call. So you three can state your cases as to why you believe that you should win, or maybe you don't even care. I don't know. The three finalists are Dylan Miller, Cameron McDonald, and Dave Stewart. Cameron, since you won the last challenge and you chose these two guys to go with you to the finals, I'll let you have your opening statement first.
First of all, I would like to congratulate the two people sitting with me or digitally with me, and I'd like to give a good thank you to everyone who played. It was a fun game. Had a few conversations with most people, but not everybody. I definitely had conversations with the people sitting with me here, though. I will begin with Dave. I think pretty much day one of the game, I messaged and approached Dave and also Sam with a bit of a pitch to stick together. I think you got to start with alliances nice and early, keep them strong and together. One part of that alliance held strong for me, and that was Dave. I think voted the same way every single time, to my knowledge, from the start of the game to the very end, and that's a good thing when people stick with you. Dylan, on the other hand, there was a bit of a different approach, I think, in that I'll say years ago, I want to say, I had a conversation with Dylan Miller about Survivor. We're both avid fans of the show, and he told me his idea of a plan that he would take if he ever got into Survivor, which more or less was pick someone on an opposing team, make a connection with them, and work with them secretly, but openly be fighting against one another. And I always liked that, stuck with me. I went, I like that. There's a cleverness to that. And I'm giving props to Dylan for this. However, I'd like to give props to myself as well for playing it and playing my role within it pretty well, acknowledging and remembering this plan, seeing Dylan on an opposing team and knowing, we can work well here, try and get our teams against each other and use that. When a time comes, we never quite go for it. There's always another person whose target is larger. That was the plan. And there were a few moments along the way where I thought, am I doing a good job going along with this plan? It is Dylan's plan, after all. And I thought, well, if Dylan's plan gets me to the final, I've got Dave with me, and Dylan's been playing an interesting game. The game, some would say, of self-sabotage, but I understand where his mentality is, I think. I understand some of his motives, but the more he played, the more I went, no, I think Dylan might be a good person to take to the end with me. Sure, it's a risk, but it feels like the honorable thing as well. And I would like people to think, if you think, I just went with Dylan's plan, I would like you to look at the last few votes specifically and who you think had the power to eliminate the other half in those last two votes, if push came to shove. There were a few moments I think I could have gotten rid of Dylan and sat myself at the end with I think likely Dave and someone else. But that's not how it happened. This was the only final I wanted to have happen, and I think Dylan would admit I said that this was an ideal finale for me very early on, with always an air of caution on Dave. For those of you who wish to vote for Dave, who might be thinking Dave didn't wrong me, this is my challenge to them. Dave followed a lot of my suggestions. I don't want to say he played the sheep game. I don't think so at all. But those are the words that just came out of my mouth. And if Dave wishes to respond to that, by all means. I don't think he was a complete follower, but I think the plans that I was pushing for were the ones we always went for in the end. I think I played an honorable, respectful game. I was kind to everyone. I backstabbed a few people, but it's called Cutthroat Island, so I tried to live up to the game's name, and I think I'll end my statement there.
Dylan, your statement, please.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess right off the bat, Cameron and I were in this together from the very start, and together we controlled the entire game. We knew every vote. We knew everyone who was going. We orchestrated every single person's exit from the island. And, there's something to be said for that. And yeah, I mean, I was a bit rambunctious in chat and stuff. I think right off the bat during the teams, I think I got right under Dave's skin, which was exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to infuriate Cameron and Dave's team and attack them. Now, here's a weird thing about my personality. Cameron and I had a conversation 6-7 years ago about what I would do in a game of Survivor. I didn't message him telling him that plan was on. I didn't tell him we were going to do that. I simply attacked him. I attacked him in chat and I attacked him on the message boards. And he immediately knew, plans in effect. Let's get this going. And when it came time to make votes, all of a sudden we started discussing things again. And we both knew we'd been on that plan from day one without even communicating anything for the first 2 weeks. And I joined other alliances along the way. My friend Steve was on my team. My friend Noble Stone was on my team. We formed an alliance immediately to control that. Of course, we had Cassinda, who's a close friend from the Popalopalots in there. And, I know that Cassinda's a great game player, so I knew I was going to have to stab her in the back and get rid of her pretty early. Mm-hmm. Which is tough to do. Like you'd think, but it's not really. It's very easy to do. It felt great. It was hilarious. The best part about that is that Cameron was in the dark for that one because I wanted to have a little bit of mess around time with Cameron to make him worried because I knew that he would stab me in the back much easier than I would stab him in the back. So I wanted to put him on ease. So I'm in messages talking to Cameron about how the Popalopalots Alliance is going to go great in this game. And I'm voting Cassinda out at the exact same time. Now, the Cassinda one's funny because Steve Watkinson was basically paranoid delusional throughout this entire game. And he was, like Charlie looking for Pepe Sylvia. He had the diagrams out, the boards going, and God love him, he powered us through so many challenges on our team, the Untouchables. But always he was worried about other things. And he got a message from Cassinda early on, and there was a little chat bubble that showed Sam, Justin, Cameron in it. So that obviously was a side chat in a secret alliance that he'd snuffed out. So immediately I turned him on Cassinda at that point in time, knowing that it was a perfect time to get rid of Cassinda. And Steve was like quite upset about this secret alliance that was going on. Of course, I talked to Cassinda about it. That was just Cutthroat Island chat. It just randomly selects people. I think the most recent people that have talked in chat pop up in that. So there was no secret Cameron, Justin, Cassinda alliance at all. I just made Steve and the people in my alliance believe that the entire time and fed them that story so that I could keep them distracted from the real danger in the game, which is, of course, me. The total manipulator. The only person having a good time in this damn game. The only guy posting, having fun, causing controversy, stirring the pot. Everyone else was asleep. What was this game about? Is this entertainment? What is this? We're just going to sit there and quietly vote people out who did nothing and said nothing and accomplished nothing? We're going to reward the people who do nothing? I don't understand. I don't understand this game. But I think I played it well despite that. And I got myself to the end. And yeah, early on I had to protect Cameron. And that was, fun to manipulate my alliance away from Cameron. And at the end, I was totally in his hands. Steve Watkinson, my longtime ally, went to betray me. He went to Cameron, as we had already set up. And he said, time to kill Dylan. Cameron immediately messages me. We're laughing. We're having a great time. And Steve got voted out by everyone else in the whole game. because I wanted him out. Now, the next vote, Cameron should have voted me out. But he figures you guys don't like me. I don't know. I'm pretty lovable. That's all I got to say for the opening, I guess.
So now it's time for Dave. And Dave, your opening statement.
Dylan's done? Okay, so all I will say is I joined onto this contest to absolutely do the best I could in each challenge. And that's all I cared about. And I did that. And that's all I care about.
So I do have some questions from the Tenants Association Board. I'm going to keep them anonymous. This is for everyone. And can you state one specific reason you are in the final three and convince the board members that it is enough reason for you to win? Yeah, let's say one specific reason from each of you why you are here right now.
I think I'm here because I didn't play a strategy game and I just played the game on the surface.
I'm here because I carved this path to get here and played as socially as I could and got rid of the people who threatened me.
What?
Dave, you disagree with that? Dylan, one specific reason.
I was the most fun.
Great.
I really was.
So the next question is for Cameron and Dylan only. Dave contributed to the online discussion in a respectful way. He acknowledged his own errors, and he doesn't seem to have annoyed anyone on the jury. So why not vote for him?
I don't know, Monica. That's a good question.
Hey, I'm keeping it anonymous.
I just assume it's Monica. Monica advocated for us to vote out Dave and wondered why we didn't many tasks ago. And the reason was, of course, is because Dave had immunity then. Also, I was working with Cameron and Dave was, our right-hand man. We kind of voted with us every time. Why would we get rid of Dave?
He was your number. He was your numbers.
Yeah. Anyway, I think I was respectful as well. Obviously I went after some things with some jokes and that. I mostly went after Cameron. I went after Justin in the most kind way possible. Just talked about how awesome he is at doing stuff and how worried I was that he'd win the game.
Cameron, do you have any reasons as to why people shouldn't vote for Dave?
Dave is a great guy. I think everybody knows and agrees this, but it's not a great guy competition. It's the Cutthroat Island. He played one part of the game, and I absolutely respect that part of the game that he played. But, the other part of the game, the voting, the conniving, the backstabbing, well, it's Cutthroat Island. No one plays Cutthroat Island to play the games. You don't go on Survivor to do the challenges. I think you got to vote for the people who jumped right in. Dave, if I may, Dave was instrumental in the success of the Panic Monster team. I will give him that credit. He played well at the very beginning in the team game. I credit him for our team going into the finals very strong. We had a great team. And then when it became, individual games.
Moving on. This is for all candidates. The final three are Rob's son, his close friend, and a fellow Papalopalot. Do you feel your connection to Rob was advantageous, and why or why not?
Can I start with that one?
Yeah, Cameron, you go ahead.
As Rob's son and close friend, I think, and fellow Papalopalot, all three combined into one. Your response to that second statement, I think, is a prime example of why it didn't. I didn't win any challenges until the very end. I didn't feel helped in any way. In anything, that attention I felt was more a hindrance to my game. I thought people might think, oh, there's going to be some sort of nepotism here, and let's just get him out. I wanted to control that before anybody else tried to use it against me.
Dave, as the close friend, do you feel you had an advantage or a disadvantage, or why not?
Advantage, because we are friends, because we share a same kind of sensibility. So when it came time for you to judge something based on what you enjoyed, I feel that we share that sensibility. So of course, what I'm going to bring that way is close to what you like. So it's going to be, that's going to have a give me an advantage.
I think it has to be kind of an advantage to know a person and know something about them. I mean, you pointed out the award show one, Dave knocked it out of the park, and I was like, barely understood what he was doing. But it was like the perfect thing for you. That's the intersection of your guys' humor, right?
Yeah.
I think there's a plenty of intersection in our senses of humor, but I think I usually do something different than you, and you do something different than me, and we appreciate what we do differently.
Yep.
And so it's much more hit and miss when I'm throwing stuff at you like that. You know, the roast I did well on because I just stuck to something simple.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I did poorly on the award show, even though I thought I had a good angle for something there. And that's just the nature of our relationship in comedy and, you know, collaboration like this. We do different things. Sometimes they work great together. Sometimes they miss.
A couple more questions, and we can probably get through these quickly. This is for all three of you. If you were a vehicle, what kind of vehicle would you be and why?
Sailboat.
I think the answer is in the why is in the answer, I would say.
Toyota Corolla.
What kind of car do you currently have, Dave?
Toyota Corolla. You know why?
Why?
Reliable. You don't have to think about it, and I don't care what they look like.
I'd be Aston Martin DB5 if you can choose to be one. Be a gorgeous car with some history, you know.
Okay.
I'd make it electric though. Think about the future.
Final
I
statements.
think so.
If you have any final statements, this is your chance to say anything that you haven't said or to reiterate anything you might have already said. We'll start with Dylan. Any final statement, Dylan? Dylan frozen? Or is that...
Or dead.
You can still vote for Dylan.
It's the best final statement.
Oh, he's gone. That was his final statement. All right. Is he coming back?
Oh,
He's back. Yeah.
final statement. Just, you know, I thought that it was an interesting game to play. I enjoyed being part of the team at the start, and I really enjoyed working with the people that were in the Untouchables, and that was genuine despite me working behind your backs the entire times. And you know, I just tried to have fun. I was trying to stir the pot, obviously. I was trying to, you know, say things and get people going and drive conversation because, you know, we needed to do something fun here. We couldn't just have 3 days of silence while Dave furiously worked on a poem to, you know, win the next challenge. Like, what the hell's the fun in that? You gotta have some idiot in the chat who's causing everyone to go, is he delusional?
I want to
Does he really
quit.
think this will work? Does he really think he's going to win? Is he really going to get my vote? Up and until now, when they're going, oh my God, I'm going to vote for him. He's been right the whole goddamn time.
Dave, final statement?
Yes, I do. I will say something. It has been fun playing with everybody, and the two people that I am here with, happy to be here with. But I will say this, I as Rob knows, I came aboard this game just to play the challenges, see how well I could do, see how I would work in a team. I don't actually think I'm very good in a team because I'm too impatient. And And not to let you down, Rob, but people out there, you should absolutely not vote for me. You should vote for Dylan or Cameron. Seriously, I only went in this to play it. I do not need to win this thing. I do not want to win this thing. Cameron or Dylan should be your king.
I will say at least 6 times throughout the course of this whole game, I was terrified of you having a breakdown, Dave Stewart. Because of
Well, other people.
yeah, exactly. And Dylan, I will say at least 6 times I have been terrified of what you would say next.
And at least one of those was the same with Dave and what I was going to say next.
Yes, yes.
That I feel like that reverse psychology from Dave is really going to work. What I will say is I played the game that, and going into this, before anything happened, before I knew I was going to be opposing teams with Dylan, before I knew anything, my goal was to go at this game and try and win or get to the end in a way that if I were another competitor, I would want to vote for me. I tried not to anger anybody. I had to betray people, but you can't really get to the end unless you're Dave without betraying people. When you're, Dave got to the end, but I think if I had fallen, Dave would quickly have been next. I think in the end, the game that I played was an honorable one to a point, and to a point is how I wanted to play it. You gotta be on both sides of the game. My name was out many times in the thread. My name appeared, people saying, watch out for Cameron. Look what Cameron's doing after they were gone. And yet I still received very few votes ever. I think only in one challenge did I get votes, and it wasn't a threatening amount. I was always waiting for Dylan to betray me, but he never did, which is why I didn't want to betray him. This was the final that I wanted. I'm here. That's a victory enough, but I would hope that maybe this time you will actually put my name down and see me crowned Sun King of this game.
That's it. We're done. Thanks, boys.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Rob.
Yep. So long.
Right on, guys.